Welcome back to episode 2 of our little mini series featuring our little recaps for The Bachelorette. This is Nicole and Nicole. How are you guys out there? Just a quick little plug. Make sure to follow us at 2nicoles, one podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and 2nick, one podcast on Twitter. So Nicole, you watched The Bachelorette, right?
Yep.
This season at least. And how do you feel about it?
Well,
this episode.
We did talk a little last week, so I guess we should just jump right into it.
Yes, let's just get into it.
Right.
So how's that Claire?
She's the oldest bachelor in Bachelorette history.
Yes.
She's 39.
Yes.
She is so annoying. I just can't stand her. And before we even get into this, I didn't really know much about her. Like I said last week, just I knew a couple. She was on one Pablo season and she was on 2 Bachelor in Paradises or whatever. So after I watched this last night's episode, I went in and I watched a few YouTube videos just to like kind of get a recap of her.
Yes, I did a little bit of the same.
Can't stand her.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I watched there was like a quick clip for I guess it was the Bachelor Winter Games or something, and she was in like a love triangle with like Benet and I don't know, some other guy, and at the end she's like arguing with this other guy because she didn't say she liked him or something and he doesn't have permission, blah blah blah, and is yelling, and then at the end of the clip he gives her a rose and she's like, oh, I would love to accept this rose. I'm like, who are you? Like, I just don't like her.
I thought it was kind of funny that like when which it wasn't even that long ago, I guess Juan Pablo season was in 2014, which is 6 years ago, and I just feel like hearing about Juan Pablo was only like 2 years ago, but
yeah.
I digress. I thought it was funny that now it seems like all the girls get sponsorships, like from they become Instagram influencers immediately. But when Claire was on this show, she just went back to being a hairstylist, like just having a regular old normal job. I think that's funny because that makes me think that's back during the times when people thought that being on a reality show was going to make them like an actual actor.
Yeah.
Which, thinking about that now, is hilarious because that's not going to get you. That's like they don't want you if you've been on a reality show. So
yeah, most times they just go on to be on more reality TV shows.
Yes.
Or I guess maybe some might become like hosts, but like you're really not an actor.
And the reality realm.
Yeah.
And until recently, I think different reality people do make money, especially when they get into the influencer thing, but they used to really not make any money. And you just went and got drunk on shows and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Act a fool and embarrass your future children.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this episode. So basically, recap, this is the beginning of the date, so they go on 2 dates. There's a one-on-one. So let's start with date 1. So they do a love language date is what the premises of this date is. So they do basically, they have to speak affirmations, a touch thing, and they have to give like a gift type thing. So I just thought it was funny because like obviously at this point I just feel like the show should just be called the Claire and Dale show because just how much more like passionate and affectionate she is towards Dale than anyone else. Like it's so obvious. But when they all come out, she runs over, she gives him the biggest hug. Okay, great. Awesome. So fast forward, they do the like affirmations talking. And I felt like some of the guys actually had like good like things that they said and they seemed like heartfelt, like they really thought about it. Now, Dale on the other hand, I didn't feel like his were heartfelt at all. I felt like he almost just kind of had some generic thing to say. And he kind of paused a little bit. So I was like, So I didn't get any like warm feeling from him, but she's over here, I feel my future husband. I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because it seems like she's so obsessed with him. And I mean, there's somebody for everybody. So I guess, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't really, like, he doesn't seem terrible by any means, but he just doesn't seem like there's better out there.
Yeah, to me, like, watching, like, I don't think they're compatible, but I don't know. I don't know them. They just don't seem like she doesn't seem like the type of girl he would have. I see him with, like, a younger girl. I don't know, just somebody younger, not someone who's about to be 40. I just don't see that.
And that feeds in the premise that, we'll probably jump into this a little later, but it seems like they've kind of been talking and they know each other a little better, so that's why, like, he doesn't have to give good answers because she already knows him.
Correct.
There's probably already something going on and something's going to be settled soon.
Yes.
So
the next part, they have to give gifts to Claire. So I guess they all go back and grab something. And I'm assuming they were all probably prompted to bring something just by the gifts that the people brought. So they run back to the house. And back at the house, the remaining fellas are doing belly flop contests.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. I'd rather be there. That looks more fun. But so the guys are running. And I just thought it was just funny. Dale's pants ripped. And Bennett, the financial guy, he's like striding, like as he runs, like a little gazelle.
Yeah.
He's just so like, I don't know, he's just so proper and prim. I don't know, Bennett's kind of funny to me, but.
Can we also point out that it's not really the bachelor or bachelorette mansion like it usually is. They're at and we could speak on this because we worked in hotels. They're at a La Quinta.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's like one of the worst chains.
So,
give him a Hilton at least.
I have a little inside joke about this. When we go on road trips as a family, my sister would always say, "Oh, Nicole, we're going to drop you off at the La Quinta." And that was like a threat. So, I mean, I'm sure they, it's probably a nice property, whatever. They cleaned it up and all this and that, but just that's a nice choice.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're probably doing a hotel just to keep everyone separate because of the whole COVID thing. But yeah, that's like cool, nice.
Yeah,
I like that. I also like how the guys are like, we're staying at this beautiful La Quinta resort. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it beautiful?
Really?
Okay. Have you never stayed even at a Holiday Inn? Because those are probably nicer.
Definitely not as nice as a Holiday Inn.
So we'll fast forward a little bit. Actually, no. I guess we have to go to the next part was the touching thing. So all the guys put blindfolds on. Claire has a blindfold on, and they're touching each other. Okay,
that's weird.
I say it, and then the guys say it, like in their like voiceovers. Watching Dale and Claire touch each other was so uncomfortable. Like they needed a room. I felt wrong for watching. Like it just was. Yeah, I don't know. It just was not. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. The guys thought it was. My bad. It was weird. I don't know. I just didn't. Yeah.
I wonder, like, was that her idea or the producer's idea?
Well, I think everything's the producer's idea. Yeah, for sure.
That is kind of just. Like, what kind of woman sits around, let's all touch each other? Like, that's just weird.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they were trying to make it out like these are all her ideas, but they're definitely not. They're definitely, yeah. So, we move along to the evening portion of the date, and they're all sitting there after with their drinks, and it's just, like, awkward silence.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, finally, Bennett takes her up. And it was kind of uncomfortable, but here's the thing. In my opinion, why I bet you it was really uncomfortable is because you just filled up Dale 5 minutes ago, okay? So now you want these guys to want to have some, like, conversation with you where I'm sure that contributed to why it was, like, uncomfortable for people to even, like, want to, like, go have, like, one-on-one time with her.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, Bennett steps up. And I kind of feel bad for him because Claire's distracted the entire time because all she can think about is how nobody wanted to go pull her aside and it's ridiculous and she's here for love and she says it, she's 39.
Yeah.
Like, in case anyone didn't know, Claire's 39. But then, like, she, I think it's because Dale didn't jump up and want to take her first. Like, I honestly think that's what the whole thing was.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then, like, I wrote a little side note here. As she was yelling at the guys, I noticed Dale had really nice eyebrows. I appreciate a nice eyebrow. If you watch our regular podcast, you would understand why. So go check those out. So she calls the guys out. Then it's just kind of awkward. Only one of them really acknowledges wait, what did I write? Sometimes I can't handwrite.
You have terrible handwriting.
Yeah, it's just bad. Oh, she really only acknowledges Dale's apology. Mm-hmm. So Which is just ridiculous because the other guys did try to speak up. Like Riley tried to speak up, Yosef tried to speak up, which Yosef's he's a whole other story.
Yes.
But she really dismisses everybody. And then when others try to like, hey, well, let's go talk now, she literally dismisses that. When Dale says it, they run away. And when he's like, oh, I would never want you to say blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm just, in case anyone can't tell, I'm not a fan of Dale and Claire. I'm just not.
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird. Seems like, I don't know if it's an arrangement they have going on, it's kind of going against the show, or if this is like a scripted thing.
Yeah.
It almost seems like this is scripted, and they're just bad actors.
Yeah.
She's a bad actor at least, because he seems kind of very meek and not doing, he seems like a bad actor too, just in a different way.
Well, and they keep saying like, you know, both were on the show for the wrong reasons. There's a lot of headlines about that. And it literally could be, you know, that they were. Like, she wanted more exposure on TV, and he's apparently trying to have an entertainment career, so there you go.
I mean, in 2020, though, I think that's the right reason to be on.
Oh, absolutely.
This franchise,
yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, so they, after that, when Dale and Claire walk away, Yosef is getting into arguments again, and he's stirring up trouble like he did last episode.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, and it's gotta be Yosef. He basically just tried to speak for the group, and Riley, he's having a panic attack, yelling, freaking out, don't speak for me.
I mean, that might just be as simple as, like, he just doesn't know how to express himself properly.
Yeah.
He's just, like, he's probably stupid, but he might not mean to just, like, take everybody's, autonomy away.
Right. And the thing is, like, I think every season there always has to be some type of villain.
Yes.
And they're making Yosef out to be this, like, villain. And I'm just like, is he really a villain? I don't know.
Yeah, he's after all the girls in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And now he's speaking for everybody.
He's just a maniac.
Yeah.
Lock him up. So they kind of flash back to Dale and Claire after that, and they're going on about how they have all these feelings for one another, and they felt it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Can you really have that strong of feelings from knowing someone for all of 2 hours? Because, like, really, realistically, the time they actually spent together can't possibly be that much.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not possible, but statistically, probably not.
No, and I
don't believe it. Yeah, I don't believe it.
Because, like, even, like, when you're, dating, like, my current boyfriend, like, I knew I liked him, but I would never be like, you don't know you're gonna marry them, right? No, absolutely like,
not.
Not at the first date.
I think maybe if you were like on like LSD or something like that, you can like see visions.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
I would say maybe that then you could.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Possible.
I don't think they drug test for this show.
No. Clearly not.
They see visions or like what is that, DMT or whatever, like they say it can, like taking it can get you off drugs or something, like all that crazy stuff they do. Like people take trips and stuff. That might be what they're doing.
True, and there's a lot of alcohol in the show, so they all could just be trashed the entire time. They could be functioning alcoholics.
Like, he smells good, I love him. Like, that's probably what it is.
Well, she literally said she loves the smell of every guy, so she knows their smells. How do you know every guy's smell already? Like, stop it.
That is not a sober person.
No, she's definitely trashed.
Especially, like, you might think that in your head, but to actually verbalize that, you're a few sheets to the wind.
Yeah, I would say so. So, she gives the first impression rose or whatever it is on the first date, gives it to Jason. She doesn't give it to Dale. He's a little surprised. You see,
you gotta throw a curveball in there.
Yeah, you got. I'm sure the producers told her she can't give it to Dale. Even though we thought. But I will say, Riley, he kind of impressed me a little bit on that date. He does a cute little prom dance, and then wait, what? Oh, I messed up. Whoa, I messed up. Jason doesn't get the rose. It's Riley gets the rose. Jason gets the one-on-one.
Yes.
I was surprised that Dale didn't get that. Okay, sorry everyone. Nobody freak out. I'm sure someone's over there going, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
An idiot.
So Riley gets the little whatever rose. But I liked him. I thought he was cute, like the little, I don't know. I liked him. Before we go on to the one-on-one, do you have any guys that you think are in the front runner yet? Because I really don't. Other than Dale, I feel like it's just
So it seems like, I thought now, and I looked at a couple things that were saying differing things, but it seemed like Jason was really honest, or trying to be really honest at least. And I thought that was cool. I think she, might like him for that. And honestly, the stuff I was looking at though too, it seemed like a lot of men didn't like what he was saying and thought what he was saying was manipulative. When he was telling her that, he's been told he's manipulative and this and that. And like men were saying, well, that's a form of being manipulative. And women were saying, well, it was great that he's being honest. So that being said, I think she will like that if, again, things don't go the way we think they will.
So I took notes on that. So the whole thing is, the date is talking about their feelings, because guys love to talk about their feelings. So this was obviously the perfect date. But it does. All the things he wrote down on his thing, manipulative, hard to love or can't love or stuff like that.
All that kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm not buying it that he's this good guy. Like, I'm not.
No, but I think that's something that she would like if she sticks around and is honest with, tries to actually go through with the way she said what she says. If she sticks with what she says, I think that was a good response for her.
Yeah, I agree. I just, I want to like him because he seems like he wants to be genuine, but I feel like, I don't know how I feel about him.
I think to me that would be kind of put off and oh, well, thanks for letting me know your red flags. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
However, I think that would be a good response for her.
Yeah.
Is what I think, but.
Yeah. But other than that, like, the date was just kind of nothing really to talk about, I feel like. So we move on to date number 2. They're playing dodgeball, but then Claire throws the curveball.
Oh, God, yeah.
Strip dodgeball. So I want to note that Kenny is on this date, and he's the boy band manager. But he looks like he should be the front man of a boy band. He's like super tan, got the tats, his hair slicked back. I'm like, he should be in a boy band.
Well, you gotta lead by example.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, come on.
You're right. So the blue team sucks. They have to take the walk of shame. Red team wins.
And they're the nudies.
They are.
Because they all were wearing these like jock straps, which was weird and obviously very scripted from the producers down, but they decided to go full Monty.
Yeah, well, I think only some of them did, because there was a couple guys that made a comment like, sorry, I just can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it makes you wonder, like, in this age of consent and everything, did everybody like sign a form of consent?
Oh yeah, that said you made me nude on the show.
Like, I'm okay with nudity.
Oh yeah, I bet you have to sign like tons of waivers.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably
I'm sure
a death waiver too. You could die.
Because I was just thinking, like, wow,
Yeah.
Would you want to be like naked on TV, or do they?
No.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, do they get them drunk and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take my clothes off, or is it like, beforehand, hey, you might be naked. Are you okay with that? Which would be, I think, a better route. And I'm just kind of curious about that, because I personally, I think that's wrong if it was sprung on them.
Right.
But if they were okay with it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Be naked on the show. That's whatever.
I feel like Claire springing it on them wasn't really her idea. I'm sure it was really the producer's idea by all means. But yeah, who knows if the guys knew or not. But most guys don't care about taking their clothes off. So.
Or at least they're like shirts.
Yeah. They're like.
But like. Yeah.
So, they lose, and Blake is on the losing team. So, he's mad. And Blake, just to recap, if you didn't watch episode 1, he's the guy that broke the rules, per se, and contacted Claire over quarantine, just to check on, like, her mom, like, broke a hip or something, and to see if she was okay. So, Blake's mad. He lost. So he decides to, when he goes back to the house, he takes a shower, gets dressed, and he goes and he interrupts the winning team's dates. And I couldn't hear the name. I think it was Jay. I want to say Jake or Jay, but whatever the guy's name was. He rolls up and interrupts his date, and he's like, can I have some time with her? And he's like, dude, you lost. Like,
Yeah.
he did lose. He shouldn't have came in. But, so she does dismiss Jay, and Blake goes on and sits down and talks with her, and he, just explains, like, he felt like he should do it. He knows it was wrong. He's going to get a lot of slack, blah, blah, blah. So Jay goes back to the rest of the guys. The guys get angry. I'll go in and interrupt Blake and Claire. And basically, she dismisses the guys and still talks to Blake. But more so to send Blake, like, you need to go back to the house.
Yeah.
Or the La Quinta, or wherever they're at.
Yeah.
So basically tells him to go. And she gives him a hug, says have a good night. And he tries to kiss her. And she denies him. So...
See, I think that's weird because earlier she wanted people to approach her, but now you approach her and it's not okay. That's what makes me think bad actor.
Yeah, agreed. Because there's a couple other things, like she even said, like, I don't really like to drink, and then you see her with a drink in she always has a drink in her hand. So are you drinking water? I doubt it.
Yes.
So Blake leaves, whatever. She comes back. Grabs Brandon, and this part just cracked me up because he tells Claire that he knew she was the Bachelorette, so this is why he signs up. So she says, oh, awesome, what about me made you want to sign up? And he just kind of sat there for a minute. Well, I mean, you're really beautiful. I don't know much about you. Were you born and raised, I think, in Sacramento? And she goes, wait, what? And I thought you knew who I was. He's like, well, we all don't know who you are, like, in person. And he's like backpedaling, trying to figure it out. Like, she's like, no, people like my drive and people like this because they said this to me. And he's like, right, because they just learned it about you. She's like, no, they knew that about me.
I mean, I heard a lot of people saying, well, like, she wanted people, like, I want people to Google me and stuff. But I'm thinking, like, he could have just said, like, not even so much like, well, I heard you grew up on 3rd Street and it was a small town outside of Sacramento and your dad was an alcoholic, like this whole, like, crazy spiel.
Yeah.
But he could have just said, I just thought you were a really cool person and somebody that I would get along with really well.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
And then he probably wouldn't have got sent home. Yeah. Right then and there.
Would have been an easy answer. Could have manipulated her.
Yep.
Like, that would have been very easy.
Yep. And so because he could not fulfill what she wanted to hear, she says bye.
Yep.
And she sends him. And it was just awkward. The whole thing was just weird.
Yeah, it seems like the show's on the awkward side.
Well, so then
awkward train wreck.
Well, then she goes back to the guys and says that she sent Brandon home. And she's like, I don't want anything superficial. But...
kind of do, it seems like.
Yeah, because Dale? I don't know. Like, I don't buy he's genuine. I just don't buy it. But okay.
I mean, maybe her and Dale hooked up before the show and she's pregnant or something.
Oh, that'd be
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know because we keep hearing all these rumors about Tasia.